When it comes to choosing a place to live, affordability often plays a central role in the decision. But here's the million-dollar question. Is life in Canada or Australia easier on your wallet? Both countries boast stunning landscapes, thriving cities, and promising opportunities. But the cost of living can vary drastically depending on where you look. From housing prices in bustling urban centers to everyday expenses like groceries and transportation, understanding these differences is key to making an informed choice. In this video, we'll break down the numbers, analyze real-world examples, and uncover surprising insights about what it truly costs to live in these two nations. You might think you know the answer, but stick around. There's more to this debate than meets the eye. By the end, you'll not only know which country offers better value, but also gain insights that could change your perspective entirely. So, before you dive into your next move or even daydream about life abroad, hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Economy Explorer for more eye-opening content. And trust me, you won't want to skip any part of this one. Housing and cost of living. Housing, a tale of two realities. Picture this. You're standing on a bustling street in Toronto, eyeing a cozy one-bedroom apartment in the city center. The rent? A hefty 2,650 Canadian dollars per month. Now, transport yourself to Sydney, where a similar apartment will cost you about 3,000 Australian dollars. While the difference might seem marginal, consider the exchange rates and the local cost of living, and suddenly those numbers start to weigh differently on your wallet. But let's not stop at city centers. Step into the suburbs, and you'll find that Canada often pulls ahead in affordability. A three-bedroom apartment outside the city costs approximately 3,350 Canadian dollars, whereas in Australia, you're looking at around 3,200 Australian dollars. However, the difference isn't just about numbers, it's also about availability. Canadian suburban housing is known for its spaciousness, often including basements or yards, while Australian homes might charm you with their proximity to beaches or nature reserves. For those considering buying property, the stakes get even higher. Average home prices in Canada's urban hotspots like Vancouver and Toronto hover around 1.2 million Canadian dollars, while Sydney and Melbourne see similar prices at roughly 1.4 million Australian dollars. Taxes and homeowner insurance further complicate the decision, as Canada's property taxes vary by province, while Australia's stamp duty can be a significant upfront cost. Everyday expenses, the hidden costs of living. Once you've settled into your new home, the real costs of living begin to show. Utility bills, for instance, can surprise you. In Canada, the average monthly cost for electricity, heating, and water for a standard apartment is 224 Canadian dollars, which is about 25% cheaper than the 300 Australian dollars Australians typically pay. However, Australians enjoy lower internet costs, averaging 82 Australian dollars per month compared to Canada's 93 Australian dollars. When it comes to groceries, Australians might feel the pinch more than Canadians. A basket of essentials like milk, bread, and eggs is about 5% cheaper in Canada. But dining out tells a different story. Restaurant prices are nearly identical between the two countries, so your favorite weekend brunch might not break the bank regardless of where you live. Transportation, getting around without breaking the bank. Transportation is another critical factor in the cost of living equation. In Canada, a monthly public transport pass costs 115 Canadian dollars, while Australians pay closer to 168 Australian dollars. Gasoline is slightly cheaper in Canada too, at $1.67 Canadian cents per litre, compared to Australia's $2.05 Australian cents per litre. These differences may seem small, but they add up over time, particularly for commuters or families juggling multiple vehicles. So, is housing in Canada truly more affordable than in Australia? The answer depends on where and how you plan to live, but affordability doesn't stop at housing. Stick around as we dive deeper into income and wages, where the cost of living meets earning potential. That's where things get even more interesting. Income and wages. The power of a paycheck. How far does it really go? Imagine earning a comfortable paycheck only to realize that your hard-earned money stretches vastly differently depending on where you live. In Australia, the average annual salary stands at 103,812 Australian dollars, one of the highest in the world. Meanwhile, in Canada, salaries vary significantly by industry and region. But the country has seen a notable increase in wages, with a 5.4% rise in average hourly earnings over the past year. While Australia might seem to have the edge on paper, there's a lot more to this story than just numbers. Let's consider what these salaries truly represent. In Australia, higher wages often come with a correspondingly higher cost of living. That 103,812 Australian dollar paycheck might feel substantial, but when housing, utilities, and transportation are factored in, the purchasing power can diminish quickly. In Canada, salaries may average slightly lower depending on the region, but the relatively lower cost of essential goods and services means that Canadians often get more value for their money. Industry spotlight. Who earns more and where? For professionals in fields like mining, healthcare, or technology, Australia is a gold mine. The mining industry, in particular, is a major contributor to the country's GDP, and workers in this field often enjoy some of the highest wages globally. Canada, on the other hand, offers competitive salaries in sectors like technology, finance, and natural resources, but its earning potential is more balanced across various industries, reducing income disparities. Interestingly, both countries have strong minimum wage systems, but Australia leads with an hourly rate of $24.10 Australian compared to Canada's average minimum wage of $17.20 Canadian, which varies by province. This difference reflects Australia's commitment to ensuring a livable income, but it also drives up costs for businesses, which in turn impacts consumer prices. Taxes and take-home pay, the final piece of the puzzle. Of course, it's not just about what you earn, it's about what you keep. In Australia, progressive tax rates range from 0% to 45%, with an additional 2% Medicare levy. Canada's tax system is similarly progressive, with combined federal and provincial rates varying between 15% and 33%, depending on the province. While Canada's public health care system is funded through taxes, Australians must budget for private health insurance to avoid extra penalties, adding another layer of complexity to their finances. So, how do these numbers translate into real-world impact? Stay tuned as we dive into the intersection of taxes, healthcare, and the overall cost of living, revealing just how much of your paycheck is left for the life you envision. Taxes and healthcare. The price of a nation, where your money goes. Taxes. Everyone pays them, but how they're structured can dramatically alter your take-home pay and the services you receive. In Canada, federal and provincial tax rates range from 15% to 33%, depending on income level and location. For instance, someone in Alberta, known for its lower tax rates, will have a different financial reality than a resident of Quebec, where taxes are significantly higher. In Australia, the progressive tax system ranges from 0% for low-income earners to a hefty 45% for the top tier, with an additional 2% Medicare levy for most residents. But here's the twist. What do you actually get for your taxes? In Canada, public health care is a cornerstone of the system, funded through these taxes. While there are wait times for certain procedures, the peace of mind that comes from knowing you won't face catastrophic medical bills is invaluable for many Canadians. Contrast that with Australia, where healthcare operates as a mix of public and private services. The public Medicare system provides essential health care for residents, but higher-income earners are encouraged to purchase private health insurance or face an additional Medicare levy surcharge. A day in the life navigating healthcare costs. Imagine needing a routine medical checkup. In Canada, you'd walk into a clinic, show your health card, and leave without paying a dime. In Australia, the experience can vary. While Medicare covers much of the cost for general practitioners and essential services, you may still need to pay out of pocket for specialists or wait in line if you rely solely on public health care. Private insurance can bridge the gap, but it comes with its own set of monthly premiums, co-pays, and exclusions. And then there's the unexpected. A broken arm or an emergency surgery could set an Australian resident back thousands of dollars without private coverage, while a Canadian would primarily deal with indirect costs, such as lost wages during recovery. These differences highlight the crucial role healthcare systems play in determining overall affordability. And it's not just about dollars, it's about peace of mind. The hidden costs of taxation. Taxes go beyond income. In both countries, residents face additional levies like sales taxes and property taxes. In Canada, sales tax rates range from 5% in Alberta to 15% in provinces like Nova Scotia. Australia counters with its goods and services tax, GST, of 10%, applied uniformly across the country. On property, Canadian homeowners face varying provincial tax rates, while Australians must budget for stamp duty, a substantial one-time tax when purchasing property. Taxes and healthcare aren't just numbers. They shape how we live and what we prioritize. And when combined with wages and cost of living, they paint a fuller picture of affordability. Next, we'll take all these pieces and bring them together for the ultimate verdict. Is Canada or Australia truly more affordable? Let's find out. Final comparison and key takeaways. As we've seen, the question of whether Canada or Australia is more affordable doesn't have a simple answer. It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about the life you want to build. Are you drawn to Canada's public health care, lower utility costs, and family-friendly suburban housing? Or does Australia's higher wages, sunny beaches, and robust job opportunities make it more appealing? These decisions often depend on personal circumstances, like your career path, family needs, and lifestyle preferences. Think back to the differences we've explored. The cost of housing, transportation, and groceries can impact your daily budget, but so can taxes, wages, and healthcare options. It's a delicate balance, and neither country is objectively better or worse. What matters is how these factors align with your own priorities and goals. Now, we want to hear from you. Which country do you think offers a better deal for someone like you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you've lived in either Canada or Australia, we'd love to know your experience. What was surprising, challenging, or rewarding? Your stories could help others make their decisions too. Before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone weighing their options, and subscribe to Economy Explorer for more insightful comparisons and deep dives into global living. And if you're curious about another fascinating topic, click on one of the videos on your screen now. Thank you for being a part of our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.